what do you want? To gawk at the beast? Well, I'll have to disappoint you. My Cole is not the monster you all believe him to be. Oh, really? And what exactly did he tell you? That the man in the cage is a monster? That he deserves death? No? Cole isn't like that. This isn't who he is. Something is poisoning his mind and soul. I don't know what it is, or why it happened to Cole, but now we're all at the mercy of those damned keepers. One evening there was a quarrel between our group, the villagers, and one of the keepers. They'd had a bit too much to drink and let some comments slip. They hurled insults at us, saying there's no place for us here, that we should just get the hell out of here because things are hard for everyone. Hard? Sure. I bet that bunch of wimps wouldn't last a week outside. All they do is sit in that keep of theirs, thinking they're the defenders of justice. Well, Cole went mad. I've never seen him like that before. He attacked that keeper and bit him. It was serious, but the keeper survived. If it weren't for the other men from the village, things could have ended very differently. Afterwards, they chained Cole up and locked him in a cage. His condition started to worsen. They said a monster like him doesn't deserve a jail cell. Jail cells are for humans. Bastards. Surprising, isn't it? It seems that Quartermaster Fergus banned any kind of vigilante behaviour. And the local healer said he wants to make sure whatever made Cole this way isn't contagious. So as long as that question remains unanswered, we're at a standstill. But honestly, if anything happens to that keeper, I have no doubt Cole will be killed and will be thrown out of the keep. This might sound silly, but before we reached the keep, we came near a strange structure. The locals call it the Arch Spire. In the morning, we realized everyone had a strange dream, but it was a little different for each of us. Cole started acting weird after that, and in time, it only got worse. No, only that, well, it didn't make much sense. But he was convinced that something bit him. He kept checking. It must have been some bug. Something changed by the weirdness. That must have caused his fever, his insanity. I was in a strange place. Dark. Full of fog. Eerie. I was trying to find him. I called out, but no one answered. I was alone in the night, and then I kept falling, and falling, and falling. And then I woke up. Well, it was pretty typical. We started a fire and threw some cobwebs into it. Frang brought them back from one of his treks. That boy could always find them somehow. It was our protection from the night and the weirdness. Ellis was on watch that day, but from what he told us, he eventually fell asleep. We were lucky no one slit our throats. We set up camp near the Arch Spire. We hoped that bandits wouldn't dare to venture into a place like that. Well, now I know why we could have been right. With everything that's been happening lately, I'm ready to believe in every strange thing in this world. 2 or 3 weeks ago. Things were starting to get difficult. A larger group of people is always helpful. There's always someone to talk to and share the work with, but it also means more mouths to feed and more worries to deal with. It's not easy.
Oh, right. I forgot to introduce myself. I'm Beatrice. As for me and Cole, well, we left Ree hoping to find a quiet place to rest for a bit.
We planned to travel the King's Road toward Camelot. Well, here we are. We found our bloody Camelot. Cole is locked up and all I can do is shed bitter tears.
Yeah, we grew up there. The village was built around a trade route.
We had a good life. We lacked for nothing. Well, that was before the damned grubwood started spitting out monsters.
Then more and more caravans disappeared into the forest. People were telling stories that grew more horrifying by the day. In the end, taking that route meant certain death. The same thing that will happen to every place on this god-forsaken island. Ruin. We used to have generous clientele. Merchants and emissaries from all over Avalon. They had deep pockets, always left lots of gold. But that changed. Then our only income came from the villagers, who were getting drunker and poorer by the day. That was always our plan. Cole and I never wanted to stay there forever. Beatrice and Cole from the village of Ree, that wasn't us.
Yeah. I doubt I'll ever see him again. Each of us has a different story. Some wanted to seek their fortune elsewhere, like me, and some had to flee their homes because of bandits pillaging their villages, or because of the weirdness. Ree could be one of those places by now. There's so much turmoil in this world. People can suddenly lose themselves, becoming a danger to those they once loved.
What? What? How dare you? Do you know the meaning of those flowers in that configuration? Revenge. Revenge, deception, and death. There's nothing nice about it, and I don't know if he did it on purpose or if he's just an idiot. But trust me, it's not a nice gesture. Thank you. For them. You are from nowhere, just like me. That's why I believe you. Take those flowers away, burn them, throw them in a cauldron, whatever. I don't want to look at them.
Be careful out there.
Oh, look at this. The old place is in a shambles. Bunch of they do nothing but shuffle around, stare at walls, and sleep under leaking roofs. Can't even hammer a nail properly. I'm telling you, if I was still working here, this place wouldn't be falling apart. Ah, but I'm not. Oh, shite. I can't even stand to look at it, let alone live here. And who are you? What you want? You another one of Durar's freeloaders? What do you take me for? A senile old idiot? I know that my boy keeps sending all of you little piss ants to snoop around his old man. Oh, how worried he must be. Oh, how did you all get it into your stupid heads that I am ill, huh? Everyone's going on about how old Gabon's gonna keel over any time soon. And me? Still here, ain't I? I'm old enough to know what I'm talking about. I served my time, I've lived my life, and now you can all kiss my arse. I swear, each one's dumber than the last. Listen, they wanted Heaver, that healer from the keep, to come here. He did. They wanted him to look me over. He did. Then he just threw up his hands, mumbled something to himself, and that was it. Hell, I should have been an healer. Wouldn't mind going around being a pain in everyone's arse for a living. These herbs. No idea what they're for. Heber said he doesn't know what's wrong with me, so there's no illness. I'm fit as a fiddle. Ah, good thing that at least the one guy who hangs around, Finley's the name, doesn't nag me all the time. What's with all the questions? Get me a drink and maybe I'll consider talking. Ah, so, what was your... Hold on. Finley is not my caregiver. He's... Hey, first of all, I'm not a cripple who needs a decrepit dimwit running round off. Secondly, do you know the problem with having a helper who's mute? He doesn't bloody talk. I mean, it's not all bad. At least I don't have to listen to even more bullshit. He puffs up like a marshmallow every time he tries to say something. But I don't understand shit. Why all the poking around? Get me something to drink, and we'll... Ah, so... That's what he says anyway. But yeah, he's my blood. Eager like me, and look at that bulbous nose. Won't disown what's... It's like half the blighters here don't have working peckers, or they've never even touched a woman. What's with all the questions? Then you can kiss my arse. I ain't spilling my guts to strangers. Drinking buddies, though. If there's something you want to know, you'll need to treat me.
What do you want? Who are you? Buy something or bugger off. Unless you've already bought from Orla. Then just... pursue potential customers. Listen here, pal. Clearly you don't understand how trading works in a place like this. I've no idea where you come from, but here, it's the potential customer who needs to pursue the vendor. And that vendor decides to sell to them. It's the vendor who makes the decision, not the other way around. How many people here do you think are offering to exchange goods for coins? I'll tell you, not bloody many. Yeah, Orla. A woman merchant from the keep. Go on, try giving her your money. I bet she'll just shortchange you and call it a day. She has no wit. I wouldn't mind knowing that myself. She stole a lucrative business contract out from under me and my family, then made herself at home here. Everyone's always yammering about Timberwall. Timber this, timber that. Bugger them all. Remember, good business, only with Quanacht. Fair prices, no bullshit. I just told you, a business contract. It's an agreement. Sometimes you can also exchange material goods, a barter transaction. But anyway, it fell through. The captain'd rather deal with that woman. Good riddance to him. Well, it's all water under the bridge now. Yes, Connacht. From a merchant family, to be specific. Though I've always wanted to join the Royal Geographers. To chop. But I broke my leg. Badly enough that I couldn't travel anymore. After the accident, I was stuck at home, sitting on my ass and looking after the books. It was driving me crazy. Not what I... When that contract I told you about fell through, I stayed here for a bit. Lost track of time. My brother got worried, so he came looking for me. I told him I'm not going back empty-handed. So he said we might as well do business here then. He helped me set up the shop. And left for home. You've never heard of them? They're a guild of explorers, dating back to the age of legend. They travel across Avalon, documenting all the lost and forgotten places, crawling through hidden caves. That's what LSA and I dreamed of. Though, only one of... Well, a friend from back home. We'd run around Connacht, drawing maps of every corner we could find. And on the farms, LSA insisted on mark. My mother used to get on my ass for wasting so much paper and charcoal. She got in with the geographers, started running errands for them. Well, said some things I shouldn't have. You know how it goes. We stopped talking, and then she left Connacht. First thing I did when I arrived was ask the locals what this village is called. And they just said, wait for it, the village. There's also a sunken village nearby. So I asked them what that one was called, and they said, the sunken village. So I asked what it was called before it was flooded, and they told me, the village. How do you even work with that? Long enough to know what sells. Not that I'd mind having a wider selection of goods, you know. Some more options on... But people here don't need much, so what you see is all I have. Then there's the refugees. For now, I guess they're good business. But long term, doubt it. Sooner or later they'll run out of money. They don't have any way to earn it since no one wants them here. They'll get kicked out, or they'll just leave and not come back. But there'll be others around to keep the businesses running, more or less.
Oh, so... You see, back in the day, being a keeper was a serious business. Now, don't even get me started. Nowadays, lads get brought here by their own kin when they've had enough of them, or they think the Orns can hide them from the law. No, back in my day, there was none of this scum. I came here to serve. My girl cried when I left her, but I've always known this is where I wanted to be. How was I supposed to know she had a bloody bun in the oven? By the time the wean was born, I was already planning the lighthouse's construction. Heck knows what he came here for. That's not my problem anymore. and I don't stick my nose in anyone else's business. Getting a bit cute. I'm starting to like you, stranger. And trust me, it's been a long time since I liked, well, anybody. I liked me brothers in arms back in my glory days. Good lads, every damn one of them. Tough as nails. A kind of men you'd want beside you in the darkest holes of Avalon. But they're gone now, all of them. The old captain got it in his head to send us down to rediscover some mouldy tunnels under the keep. Damn, we went in together, but I was the only one to come back out. I can still see all their faces when I close my eyes. A hard loss it was, but I'm still here. Though some days I wonder why. Getting a bit too those tunnels, right. Well, me and the lads went down there to check if we could repurpose them under the horns. Damn fool mission that was. But it wasn't just some empty caves. There were monsters, straight out of Age of Legends. Sick stuff. Stuff Agandius looked like. Hell, memories all twisted up now. Like a bloody nightmare mixed with shadows that don't belong. Want to know more? Speak with Fergus. He's in charge of this shit show now. Now, I propose a toast to those lost souls. This one's on me. Peace, you say. Problem is, sometimes I think they never died. They haunt me in my dreams, you know? Bloody bastards. I swear I wanted to go back and retrieve their bodies. But our late captain, make Grindelows piss on his grave, forbade me from going back. But when I drink, I usually pass out, and then I don't remember my dreams. So, I drink. My brothers deserved better.
Oi, you're not from around here, are you? Come on, sit down and tell me something about the world out there. Don't know if I knew what to ask. Now that I believe. Everywhere's a mess. I remember when we were held in the same regard as Camelot. Not taken in wimps. It's nothing like the old days. You bet they were. It's all been falling apart ever since they put Captain Brendan in charge. That one's got 2 coins where his eyes should be, if you ask me. Doesn't care about anyone or anything. He's just looking out for his own skin. Worst captain I ever served. Not that I serve anymore. I'm retired now. Filth everywhere. And it reeks of fish. Everyone's terrified of the weirdness. It's hard to... Not that long ago, we used to scare kids with stories about the weirdness. But now? Grown men wet themselves if we tell the same tales. Honestly, I'm done with it all. I don't even recognize this world anymore. And I don't want... Don't even get me started. Fergus always claims he's busy, but for the life of me, I can't figure out what he actually does. I talk to Riderick from the museum sometimes, but that one's a real know-it-all. We always end up arguing about how things used to be. If you ask me, they're all just as bad as each other. It's never gonna be the same again. My brothers are gone, and I'm left here, all alone. Huh? Of course I do. In my day, it wasn't sunken. It was abused. Pilgrims would visit the All-Mother's Temple and Excalibur, and end up in the village. It broke my heart when I heard about the flooding. They say the Druids caused it. But it doesn't matter now. Who did or didn't do what. It's over, that's all. We had a beautiful tradition. Choosing new keepers was done differently back then. You had to lie down and sleep in a special spot, but that's all I'm gonna say. It's a secret, and it looks like it'll die with me. Now go on, leave me, like everyone else has. There's nobody left with any sense to talk to. You remember Sewell Firstfoot's tomb? Used to be a popular pilgrimage spot, but ever since the flooding, nobody's been out there.
Yeah, it's a damn shame. The whole place is forgotten, like it never even mattered. Pilgrims stopped coming after the water rose.
You've heard the rumors, right? Some say the Druids caused the flooding. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them.
I don't know. Druids? Why'd they bother flooding a whole village? What's in it for them?
Maybe they wanted to keep folks away from something. Or they weren't too fond of Sewell getting all that attention. Druids are a strange lot.
Strange, sure, but flooding a village to stop pilgrims sounds a bit far-fetched to me. Could have been something else entirely.
Doesn't matter much now. The tomb, the village, it's all gone. Nothing but water and memories left.
Aye, a place lost to the depths, and with it, a piece of our history.
You're interrupting, and I don't appreciate it. Scram! You remember Sewell first?
Can't you take a hit?
Did you hear about the captain's lockdown? Looks like the lads aren't too happy about it.
Yeah, but...
Hello, child. You look competent enough. I can see that you're not of noble blood. Oh, no need to tell me that. I've tutored the children of aristocrats from all over Avalon. Fortunately for you, my opinion of them is not particularly high. Oh, and you don't look like one of the locals. Are you a visitor? Or an adventurer? You can talk. Now, I'm sure my name is Lady Elaine. I oversee the Farshire Library, the greatest collection of books in... Oh, biding my time, until a brave adventurer with a death wish comes along and asks if there's anything they can help me with. Oh, surprising. I'm looking for someone who will help me find a certain artifact. So, are you interested, child? I came to the Horns of the South because I found a fascinating book. It referred to a certain object, a figure most likely, which has the ability to dispel the wordness like a menhir. Apparently, it can be found on the ship called Andraste, which sank over 100 years ago somewhere in this area. However, when I asked those nincompoops about it, they just laughed at me. They said that the Andraste wasn't carrying anything of value, and even if it was, they wouldn't freeze their butts off in those chilly waters. The Last Voyage of the Andraste by Elvis the Lightkeeper. He was one of the more notable keepers. In his waning years, he became an adjutant to Captain Lex. But it's best if you read it yourself. You can read, can't you? But just be very careful. This is a very rare publication. Read it very carefully, and after you're done, come to me, and I'll tell you more. A deal? And they say young people don't want to learn anything. Come on, chop, 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 get to reading. Have you read The Last Voyage of the Andraste? Oh, splendid, splendid. Oh, it's an excellent book, don't you think? Now, let's test your reading comprehension. According to Elvis the Lightkeeper, in the mine near the Horns of the South, they found something that they took with them on the ship. Do you remember what that was, child? And you're telling me you've read it? By the all... Come back when you've done more than... Have you read the book carefully this time? Good. According... That's right. This is the artifact I'm looking for. One that might be vital to repelling the wordness. According to Elvis's description, the figure is smaller than a menhir, and light enough that they were able to carry it to the ship without any trouble. Were it small, it would probably have been placed in Captain Lex's quarters instead of in the hold. I've estimated it should be about 1 meter tall. Good. Next question. What was the Andraste's destination? Correct. Be very careful with what I'm about to tell you. But some believe that the Red Priests are dedicated to studying the wordness instead of the Red Death. Captain Lex must have thought they'd pay him generously for a four-dweller artifact. Last question. What sank the Andraste? Yes, you did well, child. I can see that you were paying attention. According to Elvis, the Andraste was sunk by the legendary terror from the deep. But if you want to know more, ask your keeper friends. They should be much better informed. Now, all you need to do is find the wreck of the Andraste and retrieve the mysterious figure. Oh, if only I knew. It must have happened somewhere on the way between the Horns of the South and the Island Asylum. Oh, but where exactly? Fortunately, I know something that could help us. In the Horns of the South Museum, there are some extremely interesting books and documents lying around and collecting dust. Can you imagine having such treasures at hand and choosing to completely ignore them? Oh, barbarians! Among them, you'll find the Andraste's logbook, which was saved by Elvis. I've read it, of course, but I know nothing about sailing. I'm sure such a competent child as yourself will handle it much better. Go to the Horns of the South Museum, read the logbook, and then tell me whether you managed to locate the wreck of the Andraste.
Oi, Noel, what if I pulled Excalibur from that stone, but it broke, but only at the tip? Would I still get to be king, or not?
You're so daft, Randall. Some magical lass living in a lake gave the king the sword when he broke his own bashing four-armed skulls.
So, the one in the stone, what's that called? It's not Excalibur, is it?
Nah, the one in the stone was called, don't know. Sword in the stone, I guess.
Sod it, whatever. So, if I pulled the sword in the stone from the, stone, and it broke, but only a little, would I still get to be king?
What? No, you'd have to pull out all of it. only the one who pulls out the sword gets to be king, yeah? Not the one who pulls out a bit of the sword.
Wait, but if you have a sword and it breaks, do you tell everyone that you have a sword or that you have a piece of the sword? Besides, you can always take it to the smith and he can fix a new tip.
But if he fixes a new tip, it won't be the same sword.
Are you off your knocker? How's it not the same sword? So, what is it now? A ploughshare?
A shit share.
Listen, just listen to me. You've got it all wrong. You've got a sword, right? And then the tip breaks off, so you attach a new one, right? But then, let's just say it breaks again.
That's one shitty sword you have there.
Now, listen to me. Now, damn it. It breaks off, so you fix it with a new piece again. And then it happens again, and again, and again. Until you finally get yourself a whole new blade from the smith. So get this, if the whole blade was replaced, is it still the same sword?
Well, no, it isn't.
There you have it. You just need to be, what's the word? Rational.
Fine, fine. Now let's have a drink. My throat's drier than a priestess purse.
See, now you sound rational.
Who are you? Another refugee? This place is already crawling with your lot. It's like a Camelosian privy after a feast. In my day, you only saw old, familiar faces round here. And maybe we didn't all love. It was easier to share with others, even when you didn't have much. That's so. Fine. Whatever you say. But yeah, I could see that you don't really look like one of them. Just pass them through then. Shame it had to be now. Not so long ago, we just sat down and had a drink with the rest of the lads. Now I come here alone. I don't know. But you could put something on the table. And then maybe we can talk. Thank you. That's better. We used to come here, the three of us. Me, Berg, and Fedley. But lately, something's gotten into Berg. Hell knows what happened. One day he just stopped talking to us. We went to his house to get him. But he only cursed a blue streak at us. Say, mate. Do you feel like talking to an old obla? I feel bad for him, but I've got no more patience. And Finley, let's just say... Now you're talking. Ever since he got so maudlin, Berg usually sits alone by the sea. Let me know what's wrong with him. You asking me? They came here and made themselves at home. I ain't talking. Orderly. No damn rabble begging at the gates and eating us at a house and home. Yeah, back then, sure. Civilians came and went. But housing them, feeding them? We had a rule. No freeloading. But I guess that went out the window. You watch your damn mouth. We did everything we could. I've said it before. We need a whole damn army to keep this region in check. And besides, How do you know these leeches are even telling the truth? Every village wiped out. I don't want to talk about it anymore. It used to mean something to be a keeper. You could come in off the streets and keepers would make a man up. Now, bunch of spoiled lordlings sold off to Brandon by their daddies for a bag of gold. Treated like they're soft, weak, the lot of them. You see anything interesting around here? Is this tavern decent place to retire? But not much. Well, if you're looking to sightsee, try the sunken village. Just don't let the... Get moving.
Where are the guards when you need them?
Stop, you crook! See, you... If you...
Beer from Kunacht, wine from Farshire, moonshine, only local, the best there is. And fish, lots and lots of fish. What's your poison? No, I don't recall anything like that. But that means... No. Impossible. What if... Holy moonshine. I remember. I've no idea how you found out about it. Siji. He's dead. Taken by a fever. Aye, of course I have. I didn't just throw them in some cabinet. I was afraid they'd fall into the wrong hands. He was a good man. I wouldn't get rid of my only memento of him. Here, after what you said, I assume you'll make good use of them. Even though I'm still not sure what to think about it. Things are getting weirder and weirder in our beloved Avalon. Well, he died like he lived, with a tankard in his hand. The boys always said Siji was a friend worth 5 others. He was a prankster like no other. Once, he slipped a rotten egg into the quartermaster's dinner. Never a dull moment with... No problem. Listen, if by some miracle you really talked with Sigibald, please, give him my warm regards. I don't understand anything anymore. You mean the old pier? Well, first of all, it's not that old. Brenadin was old. Why is it called that? Don't know. Probably because of all those old folks around. People come and go, and the regulars drink as usual, as it should be. Daddy will be proud. Hey, not here, obviously. You won't see your old man here unless your name's Dara. Mine sent me here because he hoped I'd make something out of my life. He never wanted me to pour a beer and look at the same tired mugs day in, day out, but as it turns out, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I got mauled by a werebeast during a hunt, and after that, the captain decided I wasn't any good for active service, so he sent me here. I was bored out of my mind, and since there wasn't one here, I decided to start a tavern. At least I'm not as bored anymore.
Excuse me, could you get me a clean glass? And I mean clean. I'm not sure. I don't mean to say that you peasants all look the same, but you have to understand it's quite difficult for people like me to tell anyone apart in this drear, especially since there seems to be so many people like you here. I thought the South was supposed to be more... My name is Alyssa Murray, and I'm here with my husband, a very important cloth merchant. But sure, not to brag, but we are rather prominent. I am famed amongst Camelot's courtiers for throwing the most magnificent... Thank you. I designed it myself. I wanted to blend in with the people of the South. The savage tribes, the brave light keepers. I wanted to make an homage to them with my new style, and I do believe I've succeeded. Give it a few weeks and everyone here will be trying to copy me. It happens in Camelot all the time. It's all... Well, my Duncan is here on business, of course. A very important contract with the Light Keepers. I decided to accompany him because I have never been to the south, and I've heard so much about its wild, untamed beauty. So far, it's turned out to be terribly dull. And the smell... It's like stale fish and sweat. Hopefully I don't have to suffer. Pray, tell me, do you know anyone here who would run a small errand for me? Oh, of course. You know, I've always found talking about money so distasteful. But needs must, I suppose. Oh, nothing. You see, I've had my eye on this beautiful abandoned estate overlooking the sea. It's not very far from here, but it's far enough away. If we stay here for a while, I need a place for myself. You understand that, right? No offense, but I can't keep living in a When I asked the innkeeper to draw me a bath, he brought me a bucket. Finally, someone sympathetic to my plight. My Duncan has been heartless about it. He just keeps going on about how I was the one who wanted to come here. He told me to deal with it. Can you believe that? The nerve of the man. Well, what he doesn't know can't hurt him, can it? He should be glad that I can take care of myself. I'm not like the other high-born women, sitting around waiting to be handed everything on a silver platter. And besides, he knows better than to say no to me. Fine. The problem is that the manor appears to have some occupants. Not legal ones, mind you, who need to be evicted. You'll do it for me, won't you, dear? Splendid. Maybe something nautical, to go with the sound of the waves crashing on the cliffs? Or do you think that's a
Guess he's got nobody else to get pissed with. Finley never liked drinking alone with him. Tighdon tends to get into one of his moods. And? What? That's all? You're bothering me just because that old rascal is sitting alone in the inn with nobody to natter.
Morris. I hope he's surviving out there. Do you need help settling in, dear? This isn't the best day to start a new life in this place, but we don't always get to choose. What a nasty business with that boy. I'm almost glad my Morris isn't here for this. He's such a Oh, I'm not sure, love. I don't move around too much. I just heard about that fight with the road keeper, and him and Patrice make such a lovely young couple. They remind me of Morris and me when we were... I'm sorry, dear. I hope I didn't offend you. I'm still not you. You see, I was born in Little Grove and thought I would live out the rest of my life there. Working in the orchards in the mornings and we never wanted to see the world. I guess sometimes the world doesn't give us a chance. That's what people say, but I never agreed. I weathered many storms with my Morris. Avalon taught us to cherish the little joys of our everyday life. Without those lessons, we wouldn't have survived what happened to our village. Little Grove was raided by bandits, a local gang that had been terrorizing the area for months, growing in numbers. Their leader, Bald Kate they called her, somehow got hold of a branding iron used to mark outlaws. After pillaging a village, she'd brand some men and women of her choosing. That way, Kate made sure nobody would ever help them, and that they'd have no choice but to turn to her if they wanted to survive. My Morris used to be a skilled tanner. I guess that's why she picked him. Yes, I asked him to. He wanted to run with me, but he was still feverish after the branding. Now, I don't have many kind words for Kate, but she doesn't like her efforts to go to waste. As long as he stayed, she'd make sure he was healed. I hated leaving him there, and I hate to think of what she's making him do, but I hope he's at least still alive. Of course I did, right after I got here. The only answer I got was that they're aware of the bandit problem and are dealing with it. But I've heard rumours that the gate is always shut and the keepers are forbidden to leave. So, I've got no hope there. Look at me, love. I'm just an old woman. I've lived a quiet life. Never learned she has no need for useless mouths to feed. And Morris, well, he didn't want me to stay anyway. I'm starting to fear we'll have to wait for another life. From what I've heard, they decided to stay in Little Grove for a while, drinking my cider to the last drop. Not like they have to worry about the authorities. The only ones we saw were the Camelot tax collectors that came by once a year. Other than that, not a uniform in sight since I was a little girl. Oh, Mother bless you, my dear. That's all I could ask for. Please, let me know. At first, it wasn't so bad. But now it gets worse every day. Don't get me wrong, we have food, we have a roof over our heads, and we're grateful for that. But no one trusts us enough to let us do any work. None of us wants to be a freeloader, as they call us. I wouldn't mind a task or two to earn my keep and to take my mind off my troubles. I might not be all hale and hearty, but I've still got two good hands, which is more than you can say about some of the A dream? Ah, yes. Take care of yourself.
Still here, still breathing. Wish I'd stayed asleep. Wish I'd stayed asleep.
I've already told you I'm not going anywhere. If you want something from me... Oh, I don't know you. I'm Dugald.
You could have chosen a better time to come here. Kind of poor ambience, if you know.
Well, at least we have a roof. My boy Frank and I came here with the others. We left our village because... But Frank is a good lad, so he came with me.
Found the poor sod at the mill, sleeping in the hay. He was chilled to the bone back then, but I could tell he'd be a strong lad once...
He's young, but he already has a couple of tattoos. Tribal ones. Means he...
At first, people in our village gave him dirty looks, but then they...
He was a good, hard-working kid. Then they started to... Frank is a quiet boy, and he doesn't talk much about himself. I feel like those days with the Reader are... Roscree. Few shacks and a small field of... My daughter married a good, hard-working man. Eventually, I gave them the...
Still helped around, but wanted to let the young folks learn how to work there. Then this kid, Frank, came along.
Of course, something happened. Life here can't just be bearable. Oh, no. Everything has to get screwed up somehow. That's the... My dear Trina and her bairn. Hey. They got caught by a weird beast. I started to hit the bottle, and finally, I left Roscree. And so did Frank. He says he has some kind of... I'm sorry to be honest, I'm a bit confused about what's going on. Usually it was me who yelled, and this nasty thing with Col. Poor lad. Shouldn't have ended. Let me tell you something. When I saw all these wrinklies around here, I thought this place would suit me. But then all this shit happened. I suspect...
What? People are making a fuss over nothing. A dream is just a dream.
come to put me in the... What? You had such a mess, isn't it? Cola's all right, and Beatrice, what a shame. Such a fine girl. Anyway, I'm Ellis. Nice to meet you. What do you need? Aye, there was a dream. Strangest bloody thing out. When we woke up, we realised that every one of us had a weird night. Oh, but it was Col who really had it rough. Poor sod was moping around afterwards. Yes and no, to be honest. See, Col was all... And back then, an awful lot of things were going to But this time, I don't know. It felt different. He didn't even bother chatting with Beatrice. Normally, there are... No, he didn't talk to me or anyone else in the group. Guess he didn't want us to worry. Well, I'm Ellis. Goldsmithing is my life and passion. And between you and me, when I hold tools and make beautiful things, it feels like I can bring some light into this wretched world. I wish I was somewhere. So, here I am, sitting on my ass in some village listening to waves and the screams of seagulls and old men. Nothing to write home about. I was working as a goldsmith in a group of, let's call them business people. I was once traveling with a caravan. Their chief was a smart guy. The moment he heard I was a goldsmith, he knew what to do with me. He got me converting all the jewelry they stole into new pieces. Do you want to hear what I did once? We went to Timberwall. The gang wanted to rob some merchant's house. We holed up in a seedy tavern and waited for the right moment. Then, one night they broke in. Came back with a whole load of trinkets. Beautiful stuff. The moment I saw it all, they gave me a couple of days. Tinkered for a bit, and then, ta-da! After I was finished, I dressed myself all nice. Went to that merchant's house and went, "Good morning, kind sir. I'm a goldsmith. My work is renowned in all of..." You know what he said? "Of course I would." That nonce bought the entire lot, even though I inflated the price. And when I came back, the others couldn't believe their eyes. I thought I was gonna keel over. Right. I admitted to them that I'd fallen asleep. My eyelids felt like they weighed a ton, and before I knew it, maybe it's stupid, but I had this strange feeling, like something... Don't ask me why. Feels mad just talking about it now, but, well, we were all dead tired, so...
The sun doesn't rise the same anymore. Just passing through.
Something happened. Frang listens. Frang doesn't know dream. Frang calls them visions. And yes, Frang alone, surrounded by wolves. They were no aggressive, so Frang felt no... Then, I caught the scent of blood and followed it. But I didn't reach the end. The vision stopped. I'm not from anywhere. Frang is attached to nowhere. I found a home with Dugald. I owe him a life debt. Frang was never a dull reader. Not without a name. Without a name, you are new. And if that lasts too long, you must leave. I left and became Frang. Frang Nothing happened to Frang. A stray taken in by a miller. Frang cannot be a Dalriada. His mother was. But the tribe decided that he was not worthy of a name. That is... Conquer. Wolf. Strong. Important name. A place without a leader. As I see it. There are no tales about a place that survived without a strong leader. And it's not about kings, nobleshites, or chieftains. Titles are just what's needed as a strong soul with a strong name. And their names mean as much as Frang's. Now they're a bit like Frang. Beatrice is strong, despite what happened with Cole. Ellis. He's funny. I like him. Rawson. I know nothing about her. Don't bother. Frang never met the Keepers, but the unnamed boy did. Once, a few of them, many years ago, we fought. The unnamed boy survived. The Keepers approached the camp of the boy's people, but that past does not belong to Frang. I'm Frang.
Nothing changes. Nothing ever will.
Oh, Mother have mercy. Not another one. If I let you pass, will you that you came through the village? Because I should have caught you right on the beach and asked what you're doing. And now that you're here, that's just my luck. Take the post turning, they told me. You'll be looking after a village full of old farts. That's practically early retirement, they said. What a load of crap. There's always something. If it's not the deck falling apart, it's a refugee running around biting people. Ah, yes, that old house. That place has been empty for years. The story goes, the last owner, Keeper Galen, threw himself into the sea one stormy night. Some folks whisper of curses or restless spirits, but I say it's just talk. The captain put it up for sale ages ago, but no one's had the guts or sense, if you ask me, to take it. If you're thinking of buying it, go for it. Make it your home. Every house deserves someone to fill it with life again. Well, to be fair, he only bit one person. But it was a keeper. Now both of them are sick. And Heber's got no clue what's wrong. Which is the only reason that... So, he's sitting in a cage. His wife's crying all day and everyone's pissed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck in the middle of it. No need to tell me that. But I can't just go back to patrolling the walls. I'd rather sit here and hope everything works itself out. I mean, everyone's gotta die someday. So whether it's me or them, at least my... No, not really. The deck? Nah, just old wood. Honestly, it's the least of my problems. But Dara's always busy with his lighthouse, and every time I try to do it myself, someone else needs me for something.
I can't even sneak out to the tavern because last time some rich bint started complaining that everything here smells of fish. That's a seaside village. What else would it smell of? You do that? That would be a huge relief. Well, maybe not huge. Truth be told, I don't know why they want it so badly. It's for boats. No one here even, but, well, you know how it is with old folks. Once they get fixated on, I'd pay if I could, but this was supposed to be my job. The budget's long gone. But if you're interested, not exactly standard keeper knowledge, but, well... Surprised? Can't blame you. This might sound odd coming from someone stationed at a glorified fish, but the only thing more mismatched than the barracks around here is my career choice. But, yeah, I like imagining places where things fit. Where chairs don't wobble, tables don't look like someone hacked them together with a dull axe, and beds... well, beds don't feel like they're plotting your murder while you sleep. Not exactly a secret I broadcast. Most folks see me as tearing in their... But, hey, we've all got something that keeps us sane, right? Mine just... Oh, she's a real piece of work, that one. Her name's Lee. She came here with her husband. Poor man. I never heard him get a word in. You know, sometimes I regret not getting married. But if I had a wife like her...
Hey, you're heading to the village, right? Tiernan should take this medicine to my father, will you? Goban is a loud man. I can see from the look on your face, you've already met that little ray of sun. It's no secret. He's just an old, bitter man who hates the entire world. And I'm a part of it, so, well... He told that tale about the tunnels more times than I can count. To anyone who'll listen. But these days, it seems nobody does anymore. I've heard it plenty of times already, believe me. To him, those old friends of his were everything. They meant more than his own son, that's for sure. He'd go on and on about it. If I'd been there, if I'd gone with them, he won't let it go. Sometimes I think that if Fergus had let him go into those tunnels and meet the same end as his brothers, he might have found his peace. Or at least quit drinking. Because he received orders not to let any keeper through without a pass. And I don't have one. I've already used mine. Guess what I used it on? When that Egypt gets an order, he's like a priest who stumbled into an orgy. He's got a stick up his ass. Nothing gets through. Not all keepers have been here their entire life, you know? He got me before he joined the Horns. Serves me right for wanting to find him. Stupid son of a bitch. If only I knew what it would entail. I don't know. Following my old man here was all I ever wanted. Never saw myself as any. Tried picturing myself as a husband. A father once. I wouldn't know how to raise a kid. I'd just mess them up. Like father. Well, no, of course not. We're not priests. A woman can be an old crone and still devote herself to the All-Mother. But a man's got to have some fight left in him to be old enough to hold a sword, young enough to not break under its weight. We all got different roles around the keep, sure. But at the core, we're warriors. Don't forget that. If I had a gold coin for every time someone asked me that, I could fund the damn thing myself. Look, it's Camelot's orders. I get paid to follow them, not to question them. If they want to throw money at us to keep up appearances, that's their problem. I'm not about to stop them. Keep your...
Stay quiet, stay safe.
should stay out of trouble.
Not bad. Listen. Size-wise, how else? Good. Now pay attention. You're going to get us some pumpkin. I don't know. Find a farm. Do you need everything spelled out? Just keep your... You're back! Hi! I told you, Ron is a good guy. And here's a little something for you. You know... Yes? Oh, what's... You're really good at this today. Wait. Oh. Oh, you're serious. I understand. For so many years, I've been afraid to open this letter. But it looks like I needed to read it. Well, it is what it is, right? And I've been wondering why no one wants to talk to me. I thought to myself, are they mad at me or what? But why are you talking to me? How can you see me? Anyway, may the All-Mother bless your path. See you next time.
You think I don't see ya?
Yes? Why not? Captain Hagen. Well, he was a man driven by pride and a certain disregard for caution. He sent men to explore those somehow, he got it into his head that there was something valuable down in those tunnels. Treasures, relics, who knows what else. But the truth is, we know what was there. In the age of legends, it was just a hospital. There was some kind of nothing left to find, or so the records say. Yes, it weighs on me more than I'd care to admit. If I could, I'd see them laid to, but no captains ever bothered. It seems they thought it was a fool's errand, maybe not worth the risk. If you're mad enough to try, then by all means go ahead. Just don't expect any keeper to follow you. I really don't have men to spare. But maybe it's time to make it right. So, thank you, I suppose. There are a few retired keepers. There are also some... I don't really know much about what's... people flee. For these...
Yes, to be honest. I dream about something hidden deep, like it's between this. Hold fast, and
Hope nothing bad happens today. Sometimes it's nice to just sit and think.
You actually did it? Cleared out those tunnels on your own? Every captain before me thought it was a fool's errand. And how are those tunnels? Salvageable? Aye, that it does. Camelot won't be eager to finance the repairs, but knowing the threat's been dealt with is a victory in itself. Perhaps someday we'll see them restored. Until then, we can at least rest easier. So the Keep owes you for this. Here's your reward. And what about Goban's friends? Did you find any trace of them? Give those to Goban, if you haven't yet. He's restless, but maybe seeing those again will help settle him. Might even help him get his act together.
Not exactly. You've already been to Ron's tavern, but since we're mates now, I suppose I can tell you about something. Listen, a few of us had a little gambling ring. Not to brag, but I was quite good at it. The winnings aren't much use to me anymore, so if you're interested, I'll tell you where I stashed them. Here. Just mind the waves. Ooh, Ern, Armand, and Richt. Haven't seen them in a long while, so I've no clue what they're up to now. But I'd wager they've got their own stashes hidden somewhere too. Cunning bastards. Oh, yes. Great place, great people. And before I became a keeper, let me... Here, you can always have a meal and some kind of shelter above your head. And that's something, isn't it? Sure, you can make more gold as a leader, but that comes with much more responsibility, my friend. Safe travels, and don't let the road wear you down.
You went down there and came back. Damn. Didn't think anyone would ever bring those back up. Lads must be resting a bit easier now. Or so I'd like to think. They deserve better than to be left in that pit. You did right by them, stranger. So, let's drink. Why the hell would I do that? You can't celebrate with seawater and fish. Did I? I don't remember. And if I don't remember, it doesn't count. But maybe I did say that. I started cozying up to a bottle the day I came back alone from those damn tunnels. I guess it's time I made good on my word. For them. For me. This old fool is done with the booze. I think I owe you. More than I got words for. Took guts to go down there, and you brought back what I couldn't. That's something I won't forget, stranger.